This video was made possible by sponsors like you. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon.
On the phone. Who are you guys?
Superheroes.
Wonder Woman.
Super sleuths.
Sherlock Holmes.
Superstars.
Sia. Chris Paul. Ricky Gervais.
You'll never guess who's going to turn up on Scooby-Doo. And guess who?
Hello and welcome to Watchin' Stuff, the show about watching stuff. I'm NERO, with me is my Canadian counterpart, WHYBOY, and today we're going to be discussing Scooby-Doo Guess Who, which is the latest incarnation in a long line of Scooby-Doo incarnations. Scooby-Doo has been a franchise that's been around for officially 50 years. For those who don't know, Scooby-Doo has been around for 50 years. WB doesn't seem to care or even remotely celebrate it. But
yeah, exactly. We just had a video talking about like how it just totally ruins canon, and that's just wonderful.
yeah, you can go on over to our YouTube channel, which is probably where you're watching all this anyways, and you could actually see that we discussed the new Scooby-Doo Return to Zombie Island, which is a movie about virtually nothing.
Yeah. And just virtually everything as well, but mostly everything to do with ruining Zombie Island.
Yeah, I mean, lots of ruining, all so much ruin. Like
So much pain.
You know, so much pain and anguish.
But right now we're talking about Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, the latest series they released on this 50th year of Scooby-Doo.
And we just want to thank everybody for stopping on by and everybody for joining us on our channel. And if you guys want to be like integrated into the conversation very naturally, as the way watching stuff works is that WHYBOY and I will usually pick a topic. Seemingly it's going to be Scooby-Doo for the month, and we'll just discuss the topic. But if you guys want to be integrated into the conversation, asking questions, you can use the super chat, and any of that extra incentive actually does help us pay for things, website upkeep, keep the lights on, all that good stuff. So just keep that in mind as he and I will just discuss in gratuitous detail Guess Who and its existence. So I have to ask, okay, this is an old concept.
Yes, this is based on like the new Scooby-Doo movies, where the Scooby Gang would just team up with basically a lot of different sort of celebrities and such from the early days of media. So it's now back to the new age.
Well, even this current one, like, it's all. I mean, like, even this current one, it's like they're using celebrities that nobody would know, because like they have like a Steve Urkel episode, and who's that for? Like,
and probably just like '90s kids and such.
Like you look at
it's
like
basically like recent comedians, like '90s kids and such like that.
I mean, I guess they want to score that nostalgia, that nostalgic audience to be like, man, you remember this? You remember when you were a kid before life like got horrible and too real? Well, now we're gonna remind you of how like before life got like really really bad. We had all these other like iconic celebrities. Because then I'm gonna try and see if I could bring up the image of. On their official website of like there's a slight lag relay, that's why I won't expect to be switching between things too much. Okay, why you there we go and it's like, look, they got like Chris Paul. I don't know who that is. I know he plays basketball. That's my understanding of Chris Paul as a human being. We have the ghost of Abe Lincoln. Boy, was that a lie. Wanda Sykes. Yeah, kids love Wanda Sykes.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes.
No,
Ricky Gervais.
No. He most certainly was not Taylor.
He was still Sherlock Holmes. I know you despise that episode.
He was a crazy mook who thought he was Sherlock Holmes. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais, where it's just like he's totally out of his element in here.
Well, because like they have like, here's Ricky Gervais, who's known for being like kind of like gross and like cruel with his humor. Well, it's a kid's show, you can't do that. Oh, it's talk, Ricky.
Because he could be dry and British.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if I want dry and British, could I have somebody else? I don't know. Throw Benedict Cumberbatch on there, who could have been Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. And then we had Wonder Woman. Uh, we'll just list them all: Wonder Woman, Penn and Teller, Urkel,
And Urkel.
Urkel. Who the?
Jim
forget this next-
Gaffigan.
Jeff Gaffigan. I totally forgot him, even though we just watched the episode like 3 days ago. Yeah, that should show like how much like it really just pulled me into wanting to see more Jim Gaffigan.
What happened to Weird Al on this image?
Yeah, I don't know. He just hates life, I guess.
Oh, not Weird Al. Weird Al should love life. Weird Al should be
Oh, there's-
whimsical.
And then we have Sia, whose hairdo does not look like that in the actual show. It is much bigger.
Her hair juts out about 2 feet from each side of her head, and it's black on one side and white on the other, like she's Cruella de Vil. But she's like Bizarro Cruella de Vil, so she's like super friendly and cheerful. She's actually kind of like a female gender-bent version of Weird Al, which begged the question for you and me to be like, is that what she's supposed to be like?
Yeah, because like before, all we've seen like Sia and it's just basically stuff like the My Little Pony movie and such. And just after that, we were just like, dude, who cares about Sia?
I
guess a lot of people.
I came to this movie for ponies, and it thoroughly disappointed.
But now you got Sia Pony. But this one, where it's just like, just Sia. But before we go into the actual episodes, who are the last two guest stars that we had?
Kenan Thompson, who younger audiences probably don't know unless they watch SNL, Saturday Night Live. If you're older, you remember him from All That, the Kenan and Kel Show, Good Burger from that 90s film. And, of course, the only character everybody knows that really doesn't need an introduction, frickin' Batman.
Everyone loves the Batman.
Unless you're that Joker movie, in which case, he's not in it, but they'll still reference, like, his origin, because that's the world we live in. Like, you always have to, even in a movie where he shouldn't really be referenced or anything, they still were like, yeah, put him vaguely in there without putting him in there. Don't commit.
Yeah, but that was the lineup of guest stars and such. As you could tell, like a lot of pop cultural icons with Batman and Urkel, then a lot of comedians. And then just some people who are just more in the zeitgeist of being like the bigger names, like Weird Al and Penn and Teller.
This is season 1. I assume it's getting another season after this.
Yeah, I haven't done too much research into it, but this is basically the first season. Of course, ending on Batman, because that was like one of the biggest crossovers from the originals, the new Scooby-Doo movies. Like it even went on to DVD.
Did it?
Yeah. Like I reviewed it way back when for a WHYBOY Spotlights.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's lasted for quite a while.
So, before this, we had Be Cool, which is something, it was the show you and I adore, and they crashed and burned that, so Be Cool's not around anymore, and they went right back to basics, which is, as you would notice, WHYBOY from us watching Return to Zombie Island, that's what they do now, is if you did something that was vaguely groundbreaking, you burn it and salt the earth, so nothing
it's
will
like fertilizer, Nero.
That's right, it's like fertilizer.
You decompose the thing that's good to grow the thing that's garbage.
Yeah, you're right. You know, like that uneaten, like that half-eaten fish and that like steak that was too tough to chew. You throw it all down the garbage chute, and eventually you'll make a new Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, it's basically like I'm just trying to really just sort of like put my head around like my thoughts on this so far, because I'm just looking up right now, and it seems like it may be the first season, or could it just be the first half of the season?
It's 13 episodes, and my understanding when it comes to network shows is 13 episodes is the norm, but sometimes they'll do a 26 episode season, but they'll break it into 2 to be like it is 2 seasons when it's really not.
Yeah, so basically this is the first season run until we see the second half of just like the ordered episodes. And really, when I first heard of Guess Who, it seemed pretty cool. It's basically sort of like Scooby-Doo just going around in the loop again. basically just starts off with like traditional mysteries, then it does something really crazy, then it goes into the guest stars, and then it just goes through traditional mysteries again. It just keeps going around and around. It's like where we got What's New Scooby-Doo, and then we went into, I believe after What's New Scooby-Doo, we got like Shaking Scooby-Doo, Get a Clue, and then we went into Mystery Incorporated, and then we went into Be Cool Scooby-Doo, and then we went into Guess Who. So it's basically like a circle effect to it.
Yeah,
It's
a circle jerk, if you will.
Did Nero know what about the children?
Warner Brothers hates the children.
But we are for the children.
I mean, I think the thing is about Scooby-Doo is that it's consistently been on the air for 50 years, and that is a major claim to fame. Something that no Hanna-Barbera property has ever accomplished. Ever. None of them. You know, like
It is the
Flintstones,
only one that really has.
Flintstones is popular, but they don't care. They don't treat the Flintstones with any reverence. So we almost never see them. I mean, I think the most recent Jetsons thing was that wretched WWE film, because they were like, well, wait a minute. It worked for Scooby-Doo when we had the WWE. Let's do it for the Flintstones and the Jetsons. And the Flintstone one is just sort of and then you get to the Jetsons one and it was just wretched. And it's like, okay, I guess we'll never just see the Jetsons ever again.
Yeah, basically. And just in terms of cartoons, there hasn't been like many cartoons that have lasted over 50 years and like consistently making shows and movies and such. Usually a lot of them would just go dead after a while, like the Flintstones or the Jetsons, as we just set examples for.
Or every Hanna-Barbera property, really.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, I was thinking about this too, because obviously you're not a Transformer buff, but you know that like every couple of years Transformers rears its ugly head to get a reboot or a remake once again, and it's constantly in circulation. Hasbro, that's arguably Hasbro's most famous franchise, is the Transformers. So much so that they actually want to create a shared cinematic universe with a bunch of their other properties that no one knows or cares about.
Ooh, that sounds really something.
Yeah, but like Scooby-Doo is kind of impressive in that regard. Scooby-Doo has really stood the test of time, and it's such a simple gimmick, you know. And this show, like, there's not much to talk about in terms of Guess Who. We'll go a bit more into our like all the episodes for the season, but in terms of like what it is, it's very standard fanfare that it's always been. There's a talking dog. There are 4 people of indeterminate age of a nebulous.
They arrive at a place.
They have a nebulous meddling age, and they solve mysteries.
Yeah, it really is just sort of back to basics, but what's also just like the guest stars also coming in to basically join in the fun and all that. But there is basically like a sort of a spectrum of how these guests actually do well in the episodes.
Yeah, let's go. Like let's go over that spectrum, shall we? That's
like I think the most interesting one to talk about is like probably like the first episode, because this is the first episode that's like going off the heels of Be Cool Scooby-Doo, which is basically like a very like introspective, very deconstructive sort of look at Scooby-Doo. Like it's making fun of all the tropes, but also doing like mysteries well and such. So now we have, because like everyone really did not like Be Cool Scooby-Doo due to the art style and everything, because that really just sort of kneecapped the whole thing.
It does look ugly. There's really no way around it. It looks ugly.
Yeah. So now we have the Chris Paul episode, Revenge of the Swamp Monster, and that opened up in a very sort of like way where it was like a little bit more, you know, a little bit deconstructive as well, because it's basically like, oh, look at this, isn't this like so silly? This basketball player is like into golf, into all sorts of these different sports, and he's trying to save the golf course and all that, and also the school that's on the golf course as well.
It was so lampooning the idea of like what Scooby-Doo is, where it's, you know, first off there's the whole generic, we have to save the X, and we have to raise money somehow. So it's like, we're gonna have a golf tournament that'll raise money to save the X. And it's like, oh, okay. So it's like, it's self-aware. It's gonna be tongue-in-cheek. And then right after that episode, it stopped being self-aware and tongue-in-cheek. It was like, no, it's just Scooby-Doo. And it's like, oh. So the pilot was like, here's the concept. It'll be like Be Cool, where it's like self-aware and like comically making fun of itself. And then it turned
now
into...
now we're doing it with the crossover series, which I would have thought like, oh, that's great. But then no, because they're like I shouldn't like say like so kind of dry because you could do well like the crossover series, but just basically make it like the basic mystery format. We have other episodes in this whole lineup that is like that. But the crossover episodes also have a really fine line to dance on when it comes to like their guest stars, where like crossovers work best with Scooby-Doo when the gang and the guest star work well together. They're actually working together, not one of them's outshining the other one.
So you're saying a concept like this, like Guess Who, will only work if it's predicated on the basis of they need to work in conjunction where the guest is coming along for the mystery and helping the gang to resolve it, as opposed to splitting the gang up and being like, by the way, here's the celeb, they do their celeb thing, that's what they're famous for, and then over here they're solving mysteries.
Yeah, exactly. Because at that point, you end up with sort of a mystery pacing where it's just like, oh, mystery, 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 celeb moment, woo! And then it's just like back and forth from that.
Just
When
to be-
the
just to be-
celeb,
just to be
it's supposed
clear-
to be part of the mystery.
Just
Yeah.
to be clear, how does it go?
Woo!
Woo, you say?
Yes. And not, hey, not just woo. Woo!
Woo?
Yeah, just like the most fanciest ghost.
Like some kind of gentleman ghost?
Oh, or maybe it's that funky phantom from the second episode.
Oh yeah, the second episode totally had Funky Phantom.
Yeah, because that also puts you off kilter as well. Because then this is the first episode that's being like, oh, it's lampooning in the first episode, but we're also going to bring back all the Hanna-Barbera characters that we like in the second episode, or Hanna-Barbera characters that we know.
Only the second episode. Now, when we do a racing episode, and we could totally use all those racing properties we have, like Wacky Racers, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, we're just going to make references to it. But yeah, the second episode is like pretty decent as well because it also like does like it's pretty funny in terms of just like where Funky Phantom, like Speed Buggy and such like that, they were created to basically be cash cows behind Scooby-Doo. So it's basically like an army of like the same show making all the money for Hanna-Barbera back then, but all of them crashed and burned and Scooby-Doo remained on top. And now this is the episode where it's just like these two gangs are fighting over trying the right to solve the mystery. Then you got old Honest Abe coming in to help save the day.
Voiced by John DiMaggio.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed John DiMaggio.
He's pretty cute, and I like him.
I like him too. He's a wonderful voice actor. He's great in Disenchantment. So like, the first two episodes kind of get your feet wet into the idea of like, oh, so this is what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna lampoon Scooby-Doo and we're gonna make fun of it, and
we're gonna bring back Hanna-Barbera characters that you like from the past, and we're gonna bring it forth to the new age.
And they do that in the third one too, because the third one has Magilla Gorilla.
Yeah, as Magilla Gorilla is basically the red herring, basically.
Yeah, which is funny because Scooby-Doo has a history of using gorillas. Like there's the Ape Man from the original series. There's Boo Brothers, that terrible Scooby-Doo movie where there's like a gorilla on the loose and it's got like a fetish for Scooby.
Yeah, and then there's Jaguaro from like the later season, like season 3, I believe, where it's just basically like a panther head and a jaguar head, obviously, and a gorilla body.
Oh no, not Jaguarilla. Ooh, that's actually pretty good.
Well, he actually is a pretty freaky monster. Just like, oh god, it's a panther head. He'll bite me.
I'm writing that down actually. Hold on. I'm writing down Jaguarilla. I could put that in something.
And then someone's gonna say, "Hey, wait a minute, you can't Jaguaro? You think?"
No,
Stealing the
it's
ideas.
Jaguarilla.
Oh, but yeah, that's the third episode with Wanda Sykes, and this is the episode that basically really shows the fault of the crossover episode. Where like I seen Wanda Sykes in like other things, and she can't be very funny. Like I first saw this episode, and then I went to Last Week Tonight, where Wanda Sykes was basically a guest star, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to see Wanda Sykes in Last Week Tonight. Like this episode made her really just suck. because the issue with this episode is just like they were trying to put Wanda Sykes comedy on a basically a platform to be like, Wanda Sykes can carry this episode. Just like Wanda Sykes is not supposed to carry the episode.
No kid is watching Scooby-Doo Guess Who because Wanda Sykes is in the episode. Some kid is watching Scooby-Doo Guess Who because it's got Mystery Inc.
Yeah.
Which, actually, I'd even say no adult is watching Scooby-Doo Guess Who because it has Wanda Sykes. We're watching it because it has Mystery Inc.
Yeah. And let's just move aside of like no one's really coming to like one of these sort of shows that's just thinking just like, oh wow, I hope this specific guest is in this show. They're just looking for like a decent show to basically pass the time. And even on that sort of front, like Wanda Sykes is taking up so much of the time, basically slows down the episode with her. When she works better when she's basically going off what the gang's saying, and the gang works better when they're going off what Wanda Sykes saying, where they're like an actual team. Like a team up.
Teamwork.
Yeah, team, because that is like what Scooby-Doo is like really one of the best like writing that Scooby-Doo has. Like it basically makes the Scooby Gang a team.
I'm not following you. I'm not following your math on this one. My understanding of Scooby-Doo is that they're not even friends. I mean, Return to Zombie Island told me that they're not friends, that they don't like hang out with each other, they don't really do anything.
Well, when good writers actually write Scooby-Doo, they can actually be friends who hang out all the time, actually have other things to do other than mystery solving. And thank God they don't do that in this show. Like, I'll give the show that credit.
There isn't a scene where they all look at each other and they're like, we're not solving a mystery. What do we do?
Yeah.
It's not like we have anything to talk about. It's not like none of us have hobbies.
Yeah, this show that actually does still good work of basically making sort of like the game dynamic for the Scooby Gang that basically makes them all likable and funny. The only time that where it's weaker and such in some of these episodes, including the Wanda Sykes episodes, the Ricky Gervais episode, a little bit of the Urkel episode, is basically because like those three characters basically take up such a huge front position in front of the gang. They basically take up everything to basically, it's not Scooby's show, it's my show now. And that makes everything else boring.
Well, it's especially annoying because it's like, it's Urkel.
Yeah.
No, he's so irrelevant.
Yeah.
He's so irrelevant to today's audiences. And which is funny because we had that podcast we listened to where they're like, the mooks at WB who are so self-destructive are like, oh, well, we don't want to confuse like the audiences or the kids with what happens in Scooby-Doo. And it's like, Urkel! No kid watching this knows who that is.
Yeah.
Can you at least choose celebrities a kid might have heard of? At least, I guarantee you, the two characters that every kid has heard of on this show is Wonder Woman and Batman because they have major motion pictures in theaters.
Yeah, and then stuff like Sherlock Holmes, what is basically good for the zeitgeist. Even like as a little kid, I did hear of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, did he suck? Did he suck like the episode?
No, he did not.
Oh, he didn't. He wasn't. Woo! I'm Sherlock Holmes. That's what he was like. So he was like, why boy? That's what it was like when I was watching this.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I understood Sherlock was supposed to be like a sardonic detective who's smarter than everybody, not some bumbling like Inspector Clouseau kind of. It's like they wrote Inspector Clouseau or Inspector Gadget instead of Sherlock Holmes. For the record, Scooby-Doo meeting Inspector Gadget, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool.
Kind of cool. You get Marissa Marsh to come and do the voice.
Yeah, well, that is definitely why the Sherlock Holmes episode is one of the worst, because like even worse than basically having like a bad crossover episode where like the crossover star basically takes the forefront. You basically have like the comedy gang with the Scooby Gang, and then you have a guest star who comes in who's just like, I'm just as freaking wacky as you guys, and there's no straight man to basically off balance this. Because that is well, that's one of the keys to comedy.
I feel like it would have worked so much better if he was like a very straight man, and it's like they're trying to solve a mystery, and he and Velma should connect, where it's like, yeah, demons, ghouls, that's all bunk.
Yeah.
You know, that's ridiculous. None of that's real. And it's like, that would have
Then
been
an actual
fun.
vampire comes down and latches Sherlock Holmes' neck and just flies away.
Or it takes Watson. Also, put Watson in the episode. Actually, that's another thing. Put Watson in the episode. There's no Watson. He was like a mentally ill patient, and that's not a joke. I'm not making a gag or nothing. He really is like a mentally ill patient who just thinks he's Sherlock Holmes and thinks everybody else are like characters from the Sherlock Holmes books. Like, he thinks Shaggy is Miss Hudson. He thinks Velma is Watson. I don't remember if he thought Fred was like the constable or something.
Yeah, I believe so.
But like he's like a guy who escaped Arkham Asylum, basically, who thinks he's Sherlock Holmes, which sounds like a really interesting Batman villain, almost, actually, where it's like Batman fights a mentally deranged person who thinks they're Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, but in the actual execution of it, it really is just almost like an annoying episode. Because unlike any of the other guests that are part of the show, like he's just like so removed from like what you think of when you initially think Sherlock Holmes, and he just does not bounce off the gang very well.
What would you say is the episode you hate the most this season?
Oh, that would definitely probably easily be the Sherlock Holmes episode, just being the most annoying one. Like, even with the Urkel episode, where like, you know, like for a lot of people, Urkel is a very like acquired taste sort of comedy sort of thing. But even like Urkel was actually more part of the mystery and such, and there was actually more of a mystery to it. With the Sherlock Holmes one, Sherlock was just taking up so much of the freaking time of it that it just dragged everything to a crawl. And the monster design just really just highlighted me like, wow, the animation in this show is just really all over the place.
Sometimes the animation's so bad that artifacts will just manifest in a sequence, and that's it. And they went to print.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if anyone actually wants to see the show, like, look at the show The Fastest Food Fiend. There is a clear, like, cell error in there where the cars just appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, there's literally a scene where the mystery machine just goes, and it just manifests in like a parking lot.
Yeah, and Jim Gaffigan as well.
He's
and that
terrible.
one's also another. Yeah, also that's another one of the bad episodes because again, it's just like Jim Gaffigan show, but he's also just an asshole.
If I had to choose which one honestly is the worst, I really hate the Wonder Woman episode.
It just really just got under your skin.
I really hate it when writers add in this weird gender supremacy kind of thing to Diana. Even if it's not like dramatic, it's nowhere near as bad in this as like in Justice League Action. Her mom is such a horrendous bigot towards men that it's really uncomfortable to watch, because it's like, if this was reverse, this would be considered so sexist. Because she's like, like Superman and Batman show up in that, and they ask her a question, and she's like, Diana, tell your male friends not to address me. And it's like, if this was the other way around, and Batman's like, Diana, tell your mother to know her place, you'd be like, what?
That's very awkward.
It makes it's very uncomfortable. Just like the little things in here are doing, like, I hate enough the little things in that episode where it's like, I could train Daphne and Velma to fight like Amazons. Well, you could train all of Mystery Inc. Oh, I'm sorry, but according to the rules of Themyscira, we are not allowed to train men.
And then they don't even fight the monster at the very end.
Well, not only did you break the rules of Themyscira to become Wonder Woman, because that's how she got the magic armor and everything, is that she entered the competition for the champion, then gets to make a request to the queen, and that's how Diana became Wonder Woman. So you already have no respect for your own culture. Second of all, you're supposed to be better than that. Don't do that. Third of all, she ends up training Mystery Inc. as a whole anyways, and it's not even used in the third act to stop the monster.
Yeah.
Also, I'm really sick of just sword brandishing Wonder Woman. And that's a very modern thing they do with her, where like, they've said like the studios have like said, oh, we don't like the lasso of truth. It's dumb. It's played out. It's ridiculous. She's a woman. She can't be violent and use a sword, which was never the point of the lasso of truth. The point was that she resolved things peacefully because she isn't a savage. It's not because she was a woman. She just wasn't a savage. So, but this one, it's just like, I'm gonna chop the Minotaur's head off. It's Wonder Woman. You're friends with the Minotaur. Why are you acting like this? Why are you being such a savage?
Exactly.
And I don't like that. I don't like that. They took all the parts I dislike about modern day Wonder Woman and put it all into one episode, and that really aggravates me because it's like. Especially because in the whole post-Man of Steel era we live in now, it really has gotten to a point where it's like, these characters you like and all the things you like about them, like Batman is a noble soul who took his trauma and now uses it to fight against the oppressive evils of crime. Yeah? Well, no, now modern-day Batman is a sociopathic serial killer who kills people.
Yeah.
Thanks! That's not Batman. Oh, well! Enjoy the movie! That's the Wonder Woman one really upsets me. But yeah. I have two to three favorites I love. Like, genuinely I love.
I sort of want to list, like, the top 5 in my head right now, and I think you'll probably agree with some of them.
Go with your top 5. Let's see. This is WHYBOY's top 5 best Scooby-Doo Guess Who episodes, part 1 of season 1.
Yeah, maybe we'll go on to the other episodes. Who cares? There's Whoopi Goldberg in the next episode, I think.
Ever since she got political, I really don't care about Whoopi Goldberg. Go back to solving mysteries with a dinosaur.
Yeah. Okay, number 5, I'd say, like, that would be the second episode of Mystery Solving Gang Divided with Abraham Lincoln, because that was actually the most interesting crossover episode where it brought back the Hanna-Barbera, the Funky Phantom crew, and they actually worked well off the Mystery Inc., where they were antagonistic towards each other, and that actually led to an interesting mystery in that one.
It would have been so funny. Well, I mean, it was so funny that they just took the piss out of Funky Phantoms because like it's so stupid. Like it's so self-aware. Where it's like this is the one that kind of makes the most sense, that we're solving mysteries with a ghost. That said, we got the worst ghost humanly possible to solve mysteries with.
No wonder Velma doesn't believe that the Funky Phantom's a real ghost. This ghost sucks.
We got this super flamboyant ghost that talks like Snagglepuss.
Yeah, Velma, we're going to believe in ghosts. You wouldn't want to believe in that ghost.
And actually, there are 2 ghosts in that episode, because, like, apparently the Funky Phantom owns, like, a ghost cat?
Yeah. I think it's a ghost cat of some sort.
It's got to be a ghost cat. It was like pure white, and I think it also wore a hat.
Well, he's pure white as well. What does the pure white have to do with being a cat?
Because ghosts.
But that doesn't like say anything about the cat. What about his body?
Ghost cat.
Whatever he is.
Hold on.
Great.
There we go. There you go. Your audio was horribly cutting in and out. I couldn't hear a word you were saying.
Sorry about that.
It's not your fault. You didn't. I'm sure you weren't placing a Discord curse. Were you? Are you? WHYBOY? Are you a Discord witch?
No. But anyway, what I was saying, like the number 4 that I would say is like the Cursed Cabinet of Professor Mads Markson, the Penn and Teller episode.
Oh, I really love that. I love that episode.
Yeah, I think it really works well because Penn and Teller are such like great like performers. They are actually characters when they're actually doing magic tricks and such.
Most of these celebrities, with the exception of like Sherlock Holmes, most of the celebs on this list are just that. They're famous because they're famous people. They don't play a character. But like Penn and Teller have characters that they play in their performances.
Yeah. Yeah, the comedians definitely have it worse off because like they can be very funny when they're doing stand-up and such, but they need to have an actual character to basically be able to have like comedy bounce off them really well in like, this sort of environment.
But like Kenan, Jim Gaffigan, and Ricky Gervais, the problem is like these are stand-up. Actually, even Wanda Sykes, they're stand-up comedians, but no one wrote them to be characters. They just like watched their stand-up and then wrote that into the episodes. So the whole episode will come to a screeching halt for them to stand there and basically perform stand-up for you, as opposed to actually integrating. Whereas like the Cursed Cabinet of Professor Mads Markson is actually it's actually, it's not only is it a mystery, but it's something that Penn and Teller actually do in real life. They try to debunk magicians.
Yeah.
So they're trying to debunk a mystery. It actually works perfectly for them.
Yeah, and they work alongside the game, and it just comes off really well. They come off as just sort of like a whole unit together, working off each other, and it makes it really really funny because Penn and Teller are also like a great duo together on their own.
It's just like everything that happens. I love how Penn is just he's very passive aggressive. Every time something, that old chestnut, right? The haunted ghost that was really a billionaire who was really trying to get the insurance money. Oh yeah, that old chestnut. It's like, dude, how come you're not like the least bit like amazed by anything that's happening around you in any capacity?
Because that's Penn for you.
It's so funny though. Like just the ending twist is so funny where he's like, oh yeah, that old chestnut, and you're like, oh my gosh, he does not care.
It's just so funny.
That's like me if I was solving mysteries with you. Like, we're out there, and it's like, the Jersey Devil. Oh, why, boy, that old chestnut. A demonic entity born to hillbilly families in, like, the 1300s. It was the 13th child of inbreeding that became a demonic entity that feeds off the souls of the young. Oh, yeah, why, boy, that old chestnut. And you're like...
Yeah, I think you're full of crap.
We just discovered the Jersey Devil. Why aren't you impressed by this?
That old chestnut.
That old chestnut.
And then for my number 3 to 1 basically goes in accordance to like basically the episode release. Because then number 3 would be the Weird Al episode, Attack the Weird Allosaurus.
Can we just take a moment and say how much we all appreciate Weird Al?
Like Weird Al knows how to do like voice work. He knows how to put a character in his voice. It may just be a Weird Al, but he just knows how to go full tilt Weird Al.
You want to know the irony?
What's that?
There is a new 52 DC Batman film where he plays the like child murdering serial killer, the Toy Maker, and they modulated his voice so much that you can't even tell that it's Weird Al Yankovic, but they paraded around that they were like, we got Weird Al for this movie. He only appears for like 5 minutes, and you can't even tell it's him doing the performance.
Right.
That's so I would love, by the way, I know this is like a mild tangent, I would really like Weird Al to be in a Disney movie as like a main Disney villain. Like, I want him to be like the next traditionally animated like Disney villain.
Yeah, that would be really fun. And I have heard news that Disney supposedly, now that John Lasseter is out of there, like they're going to push towards more hand-drawn stuff in the future.
I don't buy it.
Yeah, we'll have to see to believe it.
Maybe we'll podcast about that and have that as a nice big group discussion.
Yeah.
I love the Weird Al episode. First off, Weird Al. Second of all, dinosaurs. Third of all, Weird Al and dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's just a really fun episode, and just like the gang are just going to like Weird Al's like accordion camp, and then like, Weird Al.
What a ridiculous notion, by the way. Like, let's go to the like after like the summer camp of Weird Al Yankovic. Oh, I wonder what that's like. He teaches you how to play the accordion. Of course he does.
Yeah, that's his main thing.
What else was he gonna do?
And again, I'll just say this: like the Weird Al episode, it's a mystery, and it also has the gang working alongside Weird Al. Weird Al working alongside the gang to solve the mystery. Like, really, is it just a common theme out of all these great episodes? It's just like there's an actual mystery along with the comedy that basically pushes you through it. It actually flows.
Is it weird? Is it weird, ironically, is it weird that Weird Al in the episode comes off very genuine and, like, sincere? Like, there's the part where he doesn't want the kids to leave because, he wants them to stay and, like, learn how to play the accordion and sing.
And then a dinosaur pops out of nowhere. It's like, oh, get out of here.
Yeah, without missing a beat, like, the moment the kids are in danger, he's like, get out of here, kids! Get out of here! What are you doing? Flee, you fools! And it's like, oh, Weird Al genuinely cared about the safety of his students. That's genuinely, like, heartwarming.
Yeah, and that is just sort of what makes him such a strong character in this. They're genuine. Like the characters in these 5 episodes so far are the most genuine out there. That basically bounce off really well with the gang, because what the gang is supposed to do when they come across a mystery is they're supposed to come in to basically help somebody with it. That's where the genuineness comes in to basically make it wholesome and heartwarming as well. Like there is all those mysteries where it's just like, oh, we ended up on a spooky island. Let's solve a mystery. But I think the best mysteries are the ones where they're actually trying to help somebody out. Because that actually shows like the good nature of the gang.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like they're supposed to be at their core. If you go all the way back to like the original, you know, they're good. This is gonna make me sound like such an old timer. They're good kids, man. They're good kids who just want to do good.
They're good meddling kids.
They're good. They're not even meddling. Like, is it really meddling when bad people were trying to take advantage of other people? I mean,
They're very true.
it's funny where it's like meddling kids. They're not really meddling kids. You're a scumbag con artist.
Yeah, stop it.
It's not meddling. You're a scumbag. Knock it off.
Stop it.
What's your second best?
Like this is like a little bit more of a coin toss, but I think I'm going to put Batman episodes What a Night for a Dark Night at number 2, because the number 1 surprised me so much. I feel it deserves at number 1, but that doesn't mean the Batman episode is any less perfect. Like it's so freaking funny, it's so great, and just like the game works so well off of Batman. It's just perfect.
The scene with Man-Bat just kills me, where it's like he's like, Kurt Langstrom must be behind this. Drives all the way to the asylum, can't turn his radio off because he's like an idiot. So he's just pushing the button. Velma, still here, hold the Batman. Are you wearing gloves? Try doing it without gloves. Pulls the glove off, so you see Bruce Wayne's hand, and he's like, finally gets the radio off, goes inside the asylum. I need to talk to Langstrom. Goes over to like the big tank, because that's how prison cells were back in the old Batman days, is that he just put people into tanks, basically, like fish. Kurt Langstrom's sitting there, looks it up, turns into Man-Bat, starts slapping on the glass. Yeah, it's him. Somebody must be posing as him. Batman just leaves, just turns back into Langstrom. Okay, goodbye, thanks for visiting.
Wait, don't go. Okay, bye.
He's just like a sad man who turns into a bat. That's so depressing.
That makes it so funny. But just like what I love about the episode is just like more than where we got from like the Scooby-Doo Batman movie meetup. Like this one basically showed where like the Scooby Gang is actually our detectives and actually are calling out Batman for his stuff. Because like my favorite scene is where like Batman shows up in his house where the gang is, and the gang is just questioning him on anything, just like, oh wait a minute, if you arrived here, where's your car outside?
Wait a minute, Batman. You passed us, but the Batmobile's not outside. Come to think of it, how did we even get here before you? And why are you at Wayne Manor anyways? Did you know that there was a crime committed? It's like, wow, sometimes, you know, in hindsight, if you ever take a step back, it's really obvious to figure out who Batman is.
Yeah, but it's just so great that just any sort of detective, like these kids who have so much experience, could just figure it out right away.
What was it? Batman, I have some evidence behind this case. How did you get this line? Oh, I just hacked your computers. What?
Yeah, I hacked your phone. What you were tying us up?
Yeah, when you were interrogating Shaggy and spooking the hell out of him, I just hacked your belt and like the technology on it. Oh, and it's like, see, Velma could be hyper intelligent and it could be fun.
Yeah, it shows that the gang and Batman are sort of like on equal levels on that.
I mean, they shouldn't be. They're literally idiot kids that like travel around in their van. They should not be on par with Batman in terms of intellect.
But for this, it makes it a lot funnier.
Oh, this is very funny. This is hilarious.
But I don't know. I still think that it could work where they're on equal levels. Like the whole gang basically coming together, basically be on the same level as Batman. It's just one person.
He is a man who trained himself for years to be peak physical perfection. How dare you even ask for like Mystery Inc. to be half as competent as he is? That makes him even look more incompetent. That like 4 idiot teenagers and a talking dog are the equivalent of Batman.
Who have solved over thousands of cases.
Half their cases, though, are like some idiot trying to find gold or real estate. Batman has to deal with real criminals, like Joker.
Those aren't fucking mysteries, are they?
No, not really. Not when Batman walks into an alleyway. Victim has a smile on his face. Ha ha ha, painted all over the walls. It must... Ventriloquist! He must be behind it all!
Yeah.
And then, like, instead of going to Ventriloquist, though, he goes to the Penguin. I know you did it, Cobblepot. I thought you said the Ventriloquist did it.
Yeah, that is more what I like about it. It basically does show them on sort of an equal footing with Batman, which a crossover is supposed to do, and them throughout the mystery. They even make Batman take a little bit of a step back, because if Batman was right there, who just punched the man back right away, it'd be like, oh, okay, I beat him.
To be fair, I love that he's actually not deducing it like he's a moron, though. He's deducing it in a logical manner where it's like, okay, claw marks, the way how they got high up on the scaffolding, only Man-Bat could do that. So so his first choice is to go to the asylum and talk to Kurt Langstrom. But when he sees that Langstrom is in his prison, it's like, well, it's not him. Someone has to be posing as Man-Bat, and it's like, who could be posing as Man-Bat? He's deducing it in a very Batman manner.
Yeah, and then against doing it in their manner, where they basically find a clue at the scene where it's just like, oh no, because they don't know everything about Gotham and all that, so they just think like, oh, like this lipstick and such. Where does this lipstick come from? It shouldn't be here at the scene, so they go to where the lipstick is.
And it could have been two villains.
Yeah,
it could have been two different villains. They went with the obvious choice, but it could have been two different villains.
Yeah, but I think it went with the best choice.
Oh, especially because, my God, is the humor just so... I love this episode. The one that... You remember the part that killed me, dude, where we were watching it, and Fred's walking around Wayne Manor, and he walks into the study, and he touches the head of, like, Albert Einstein and presses the button, and the bookcase lifts up, and Bruce Wayne is, like, crouching next to the bat pole, and his cowl's off, and, like, Fred's like, huh? And Bruce Wayne's like, oh, puts on cowl, throws battering to hit button, Fred pushes button, opens, battering, open. And at some point it's like, Batman, for God's sakes, just slide down the bat pole, you moron. Stop standing there.
Well, I was thinking at that point would be like, okay, the game would just be like, okay, we may be idiot teens, but you're definitely Batman, Bruce Wayne.
Well, I mean, if they didn't just deduce it, the obvious thing would have just really been like, Fred would have been like, I saw him. He was like getting undressed behind a bookcase. He looked like a total moron. I also love that this episode it's throwing back to Batman 66 because it's the Batman 66 Batmobile and it's the Batman 66 Batman belt buckle. They're invoking the Batman 66 aesthetics because Batman 66 was the one they met. And if he hadn't passed away, they probably would have just gotten Adam West too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. And this is also just sort of a callback to one of the like I said, the famous crossover episode of Scooby-Doo, where it was Scooby-Doo and Batman, and where like no, not Batman and the Penguin, Joker and the Penguin were the bad guys in that one.
Yeah, because those are like his two biggest rogues.
Yeah, they were just wearing stupid monster costumes in that episode, though.
The Joker is like, he's bleached white with green hair and crimson lips. He already is a monster.
Well, I think one of them dressed as a tree monster, though.
Was
weird.
Was it Penguin? Was he like a fat tree?
No, oh no. Joker was the tree monster. Penguin was like this little goblin man.
That's not a stretch.
It's just so great.
But for you, number one is the Sia episode because...
Yeah, the Sia episode is definitely number one.
You literally expected absolutely nothing.
Yeah, because, like, Sia, we don't give a crap about Sia. When we just saw Sia on the lineup of just, like, guest stars coming out, we were like, Sia, that singer?
Actually, could I bring up a good point for this?
Yeah, sure.
She has the best written mystery.
She really does.
Because somebody is trying to frame her as a criminal, and she has to prove her innocence.
It brings a mystery to basically solve it.
And I like the idea of like the monster Sia is out there and like robbing. She was robbing like diamond exchanges. So
Yeah.
like the real CIA has to prove like she's not a criminal, and that's interesting. Like the Batman mystery is going to be great if you don't know anything about Batman, so it'll be easy for you to deduce who the freaking culprit is in a heartbeat.
Hey, when I brought up that little tidbit about the lipstick and all that, you were just like, "Oh man, he could be the one." Huh?
He would do
went
something
crazy.
this stupid, and it was.
And it just ended up perfectly. But yeah, this is the episode that basically they wrote like the most well-written mystery. Basically, did have like multiple suspects and such that were actually established. Because we already had the mysteries where it's just like, oh well, like is it the cackling evil guy over there that's the bad guy? Like that's 1969 Scooby. We are over that. We've been over that for years.
I wouldn't even have a problem with that if there was a consistency, though. If the show was predicated on the idea that it's just going to be a throwback, then fine. But the first episode, hell, the first 2 episodes are like lampooning all the tropes and everything.
Yeah.
So you figure, oh, okay, so this is going to be like Be Cool, where we're like making fun of the self-awareness, the ridiculous nature of Scooby-Doo, where it's like, you know, like in the first episode, when you and I watched it, you know, the one guy's like, I believe there's gold on this land. Well, he might be the criminal. I just want this land for like real estate development. Well, he might be the criminal. And it's like very self-aware, pointing out the obvious ideas of like, these are all the tropes you used to get in Scooby-Doo back in the day. It was like, obvious bad guy was bad guy.
Yeah.
But then like as it progressed, it's like, well, no, it's not going to be lampooning. Then it's going to be just like traditional Scooby-Doo. And if that's the case, though, then that's how it should have started from the get-go. It would be like if we started Mystery Inc. It'd be like if we started Mystery Incorporated with the supernatural elements from like the gate. Like imagine like the first episode was they stopped like a real vampire or something.
Yeah.
But then like after that, it's like episode 2, we stopped like a real witch or something. And then episode 3, it was a guy in a costume trying to get the gold under like a yogurt mom pop shop.
Well, you've been thinking it's like less like that, and just more like if like the first episode he stopped a real vampire, the second episode he stopped a guy in a costume, and the third episode was just like, oh, it's not even that. It was just like completely differently. Like we just like passed out, and we all had a dream and all that. Like with Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, almost each and every episode is like completely different from the other when it comes to like its mystery writing, and that mystery and crossover writing, which basically makes it very inconsistent in basically quality. Where if all the episodes were on the same level as like the 5 episodes that I listed, like this would be a very solid series that I would recommend like from beginning to end.
I'd agree with you too that those 5 episodes are the best ones.
Yeah. Like probably number 6 would be the Chris Paul one, where it's just like, this is a funny lampooning of it. But the other 5 episodes are much better, well written.
I think I'd choose the one with the Funky Phantom and Abe Lincoln over the Chris Paul one, just because of its lampooning of the tropes, the fact that it mocks not even just the Funky Phantom, which was always just too ridiculous, but they make fun of Speed Buggy, which is just beyond moronic.
Yeah. It always was.
It is. No, it really is. Like, it's a talking car. Come on.
Yeah. But that's Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. I think after discussing all that, where would we rate this?
I mean, if you like Scooby-Doo, you're probably just gonna like it. That's the thing. It's like it's hard to rate it as like a must-see, a rock bottom, a good watch, or a meh. Because the thing is, if you're a Scooby-Doo fan, you're just gonna watch this because that's it. Like when it comes to Scooby-Doo, you're in for £1, you're in for like $1. You know, just
Yeah.
You gave it an inch and you're taking the mile. That's why you and I watch literally every Scooby-Doo film that drops from WB. Like, we knew, like, Curse of the 13 Ghosts, you and I were like, oh, that looks like it could be good, and it was crap. Then we were like, well, I mean, I guess it couldn't be any worse.
Return to Zombie Island is better.
They announced Return to Zombie Island, and you and I were like, that's going to be crap. We saw the cover. That looks like crap. We saw the trailer. Well, that looks like crap. I hope they prove us wrong. We watch it. Oh!
Well, when I really thought it was going to be crap, where it was talking about like in some of like the descriptions of it, it's just like we're going back to the tropical island. Tropical island.
It was a marsh
with
with
New
swamps.
Orleans.
It was a Nolans, son.
Yeah, they had gumbo and all that stuff. Like, come on.
There was like alligators and catfish. Like, there's nothing about this that was remotely tropical, and it it has to write the gang being all idiots who are oblivious to the world around them to even begin to work.
Yeah, at least with this show, it's definitely on the line of where I would call it like a mess sort of show. Like those 5 episodes, I would say like definitely those are must sees in terms of like if you really love Scooby-Doo. I think those are the 5 episodes that will really just pull you into this show and make you enjoy it. Like even on some of the, there are definitely episodes on the lowest end of the spectrum, including the Sherlock Holmes one.
Anything
But
with
the
like
rest
anything with a stand-up comedian is just positively wretched.
Yeah, it's just really on the dull side of things. They're not the worst episodes. They're just very dull episodes.
The Jim Gaffigan episode flat out was terrible.
It really was.
The setup was terrible. The payoff was terrible. The idea of like Scooby and racing should be awesome because that should include like the wacky racers, and it doesn't.
Yeah, because the Reluctant Werewolf movie was really funny and awesome.
Yeah, it's a wacky racers movie clearly, but they put Scooby-Doo in it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it just sucked there. It seems like it's only like the one time where racing actually worked, because then it was just like Reluctant Werewolf, which was good. Then you have the Curse of the Speed Demon, which sucked, and then you have this episode, which sucked.
I'm sure there are more. Yeah. I'm sure there are more episodes with.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there are definitely a lot more. I think I remember one from What's New Scooby-Doo.
Question.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
If you had to choose who you would like to see them cross over with, what's like your top 3 choices?
Definitely, if I was choosing top 3 choices, Penn and Teller would definitely be on there because I really like the idea of just like magicians working together, but they've already done that now. I don't.
Maybe like Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah, probably not Siegfried and Roy because I don't really know them in terms of characters. I'm trying to think of ones that basically have like huge basically character presence, because those are the actual crossover characters that I would think would be the ones that basically work the best off of Scooby, because like Sia, Weird Al, and such, they basically explode on screen and basically but also work alongside the gang. They're not trying to take up the spotlight, they're trying to put the gang in the spotlight with them, and that's what makes them better. I can't really think of like any big stars that I would put alongside them. Do you have any in mind?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, then list them.
Superman, Space Ghost, and Johnny Quest.
Oh yeah, those would all be good. Yeah.
I don't even care what the mystery is. With Superman, obviously, it's going to be Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
That's.
Or maybe they're just like the red herring is Lex Luthor.
You know what would be funny? What? If the red herring's Lex Luthor, and it turns out that they actually go to Apocalypse and they meet like Darkseid, just make it fun, you know? Make it like they're on Apocalypse and they're like parademons, and it's like, we figured out the mystery, Darkseid, and he's like, and I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling Earthers and you, Kal-El. And then he like boom tubes away, and you're like, what?
That would weird. Or maybe they're just on Earth and just like Darkseid puts down a newspaper. It's just him with a mustache. Dang it, you caught me!
Well, it'd be funny if it wasn't even him. It was his idiot son, Calabac, who had like another moronic plan to win his father's affections. So it's like, hey, the monster is. Then they pull the mask off, and then they try to pull the mask off, but it's just Calabac, because Calabac looks like a monster anyways. And they're like, I guess the monster is, and then Superman's like, Calabac, son of Darkseid. And he's like, my father was gonna be so proud of me. Then Boom Tube opens up, and it's like Granny and Darkseid walk in, and Granny's like, oh, simple, dumb Calabac, thinking he can win Darkseid's affection. And then she just grabs him by the ear, and he's like, ow, 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 and they just pull him through the Boom Tube, and you're like, what just happened? Hey Lex, I'm sorry I blamed you. You're always trying to blame me for everything, Superman. That's your problem. You don't have faith in people. And then like he bumps into a wall and like a hunk of kryptonite falls out of his pocket, and he's like, oh, gotta go, and he like picks up the kryptonite and leaves. You're like, thanks Lex, thanks. Johnny Quest, you make it like Dr. Z.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Space Ghost, I don't know, maybe Zorak. It's a giant man. He fights aliens. He fights like Moltar. He fights like Mantis Men.
Yeah, I think all those could definitely work. I'll just say, like, just sort of as a final note sort of thing, like for these next like how many episodes I've been ordered and such. Like the best way to basically do crossovers for like anything Scooby-Doo. Like I'm just like I'm not being presumptuous, but this is basically just flat out like this is how it always works best.
It's not presumptuous if we can deduce by looking at the formula what works, and clearly this is how it should be done.
Yeah, but you know, some people have like subjective opinions and all that about this, but whatever. Like, what works best for crossovers is just like Scooby-Doo and the crossover star work together. When it comes to WrestleMania, Kiss, and any of those crossovers, they work best because the gang are working alongside the guest star, and the guest star is working alongside them. They are part of the mystery. They aren't like headlining the mystery. They aren't behind the mystery. They are part of it. They are there. It's just present throughout the entire thing, and they are acting upon the mystery to basically keep pushing it forward.
You can't
so it's always flowing forward.
You can't do Quit Clownin' with Kenan Thompson, where literally not only do they split up Mystery Inc., but only Fred, Daphne, and Velma are trying to solve the mystery, and Kenan Thompson is just doing his shtick with Shaggy and Scooby.
Yeah, that is the most boring mystery episode you could possibly have.
I would have been happier if it was Kenan and Kel, and it was literally like Ed from Good Burger, and whatever Kenan's character was from the Good Burger movie, and they were like at Good Burger trying to resolve like the Good Burger ghoul.
Yeah,
Something.
Yeah, that would have been a whole lot better. Because then Kenan's character would have just been like, I gotta stop the ghoul and such.
Well, Kel would have been like, oh, dude, whoa, we gotta stop the Good Burger ghoul. And meanwhile, Kenan would have been like, I just want to get my paycheck. I'm on summer break. I shouldn't even be working here.
Yeah, like something like that would. The guest stars need to have agency over the episode. If they don't have agency, then why are they there?
They're there for marquee.
I know that, Nero. I was being facetious with my question.
Oh, okay. It's because people always ask those questions like, why'd they make a Return to Zombie Island sequel? Money. Money is why they made it. It's not a mystery.
But of course, obviously.
No, but like I think those three would be good choice because I really do feel like Hanna-Barbera should. I'm really disappointed in Hanna-Barbera because they have the same problem as Warner Brothers. Incidentally, because they're also owned by Warner Brothers, where Warner Brothers owns these properties and doesn't know what to do with them or how to do anything with them. Like they own Warner Brothers, and by extension AT&T, because AT&T owns Warner Brothers. They own the catalog of Detective comic characters. They own all the DC properties: Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Joker, Penguin, Mr. Freeze, Lex Luthor, Cheetah. They own all these iconic, huge property characters, and Batman's the only one they ever give the time of day to.
Yeah.
And then they have the gall to be like, oh, I don't know, should we make like an Aquaman movie? I mean, you know, it's Aquaman. And Aquaman now is the highest grossing DC movie ever made. And I'm sure the executives are like on suicide watch because they're freaking out that a Batman movie isn't the most profitable property they've had for a film. It's freaking Aquaman. You know, the guy who talks to fish, as everybody says. And I love Aquaman.
Right.
Also, just an idea as a runner-up for them to cross over. I'd like them to cross over with maybe Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, definitely more of the cartoons that are crossovers would definitely help with easy when it comes to like having a cartoon character work off of.
Well, because I don't care about celebrities like as a whole, as a person, because people look at celebrities like they have intrinsically more value because they're famous. I look at them as people who you did a job.
Yeah. Well, I know, but that's very subjective though, because you're definitely different from most people.
No, I know it's 100% subjective, but like people look at like okay, like the actors who are in the Marvel movies, they look at them as like these like icons, and to me it's like that's just Robert Downey Jr. That's it, and he played Iron Man and he played him well. That's it. I don't think of him as anything special. It's like you were hired for a role and you did it very well.
Right.
You are literally no more special than, say, a hardworking, like, garbage man or janitor. You are no more special than that person. And that's how I feel. I don't think they've contributed something that should raise them above such iconic levels of of quality where it's like, you're an actor. If you weren't doing this, you wouldn't be eating. You wouldn't have a job. You'd be doing something else. You're just doing a job. At least a doctor tries to, like, prolong life.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe.
So, like, when it's like, what actors would you get? Oh, I don't really care. I like characters. I don't like actors. Like, Weird Al is a character. Like, I'm sure if you sit down and talk with Alfred, I'm sure he's like I'm sure he's nowhere near as quirky as he is in all the stuff he's in. I bet he's like really down to earth.
Yeah. I could see that.
But like, I can't think of any actor where it's like, is there an actor you'd really like to get? And it's like, no, but there are characters I would like to get. Like, if they got the two guys from Psych, like Sean and Gus, I'd like to see Sean and Gus cross over with Mystery Inc. That sounds fun. I wouldn't want the actors who play Sean and Gus. I just want Sean and Gus.
Yeah. Definitely, like, I think just the bottom line is, like, we need characters as just part of these crossovers. Like, even if you have actors and such, like, join in, they need to be written as characters. Not as just, like, oh, I'm just so-and-so. Let me be part of this, like, existence for the time being.
Yeah, but and that's the ones. Those are the ones, like, Penn and Teller. You have, like, the stoic, quiet... He's not really a yes-man, but he's almost like a fun pantomime. And then you have Penn, who's, like, he's very sardonic. He's very...
A boisterous loudmouth.
Yeah, you know, Weird Al, he's just the missing Looney Tune character. Sia, she's just female Weird Al. She's also a missing Looney Tune character. Even Wonder Woman, she had a character. Batman has a character. Even Urkel, and I didn't like that episode, but even Urkel had a character. Annoying super nerd.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because like the Urkel episode actually does work in terms of like the mystery and everything like that. It's just like Urkel is definitely like a hard character to really sell in today's age.
He's a product of his time. Like, it was like that goofy antic stuff of him would have been fine back then, and it was. He was very popular. They completely changed Family Matters to basically be an Urkel show because of how popular he was. But in modern day, everyone would just kick the crap out of Steve.
Like, annoying is not as sellable now as it was back then.
No, it's not. You know who I'd like to see actually on here? That would be kind of fun.
Who's that?
Markiplier.
Oh yeah, just more you. Oh, that would be a pretty good direction for Scooby-Doo to go in if this crossover stuff is going to go into the new age sort of thing. Why not just go the next step and be like, oh, just put in online influencers, as like the fancy term it's called,
and
basically bring it to the new age.
My top three choices would be Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and Jim Sterling.
Yeah, that would. I don't think Jim Sterling would be on it just because of just how.
Oh, because of his show's content, yeah. I mean, the thing is, you can make him like a parody of himself, though, where like he's this grumpy YouTuber, and then he's actually being harassed by like Jim Saw, like his character that he invented, who wears like the shrimp mask, or like you can literally make it a giant shrimp monster.
Maybe that definitely does sound silly. Silly enough for Scooby-Doo, definitely.
Like he goes to like the all-you-can-eat buffet, because Jim always makes jokes about how fat he is anyways. Like he goes to like an all-you-can-eat buffet, and it's like, this buffet is the best buffet in, I think he lives in, not Minnesota or Mississippi, one of the M's. I think it's Missouri. And he's like talking about like, he's always complaining like, he's like, this place sucks, but there's a great buffet. And like he could go to the buffet, and then Shrimp Monster, and it turns out that the Shrimp Monster is like the owner, but the owner because they have so much business, the owner wants to tank the business to get the insurance claim because the insurance is just so high. So it's like giant shrimp monster, and then Mr. Ink has to help Jim Sterling solve the mystery. And he's like, I just want this restaurant to stay open because it's like it's like a staple of this community. No, they just have like really good shrimp and like and crab.
Right.
You can play it up, and the thing is, like you said, if we're gonna start going into like trying to capture the modern audiences, they really should be using people that young audiences would know. Kids know Mark and Jack and Jim. Even
They don't know. Okay, slow down. There are definitely more. You're talking about the gaming sphere. We have to go outside the gaming sphere. There are a lot more YouTubers out there than those, like the beauty gurus. You can go into like the the Dude Perfect bros and all that. You have to go into like, multiple different directions.
Who are those two dudes that hang out that are like BFFs that do it?
BFFs that do it?
No, they're two friends that do it. They were on Epic Rap. Actually, Epic Lloyd and Nice Peter would also be awesome because you can make it a musical episode.
That's Happy Mythical Morning.
The Happy Mythical Morning guys. Link and something or Lunk and something.
There's definitely like many different directions you can go for it. It's basically just all these like.
If we're talking characters, do Bill and Ted.
Well, I think they're moving a little bit away from like a lot of the characters and such. Like, it's very like specifically like characters where it's just like the biggest massive people. Bill and Ted will probably not fit the bill. You got to think like stuff like Wonder Woman, Batman, and such. Like even with the Hanna-Barbera crew.
So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
Bill and Ted don't fit the bill. Steve Urkel though does.
Yeah, apparently he does. He was a big '90s character, and he's more marketable than Bill and Ted, unfortunately.
They're getting a third movie.
Yeah, after how long?
Well, all I know is one of them was famous. The other one was Alex Winters, and he directed one of the Ben 10 live-action films.
Oh, those masterpieces.
I said one. Look, he's not hack Joker director Todd Phillips, who did The Hangover 3 times.
Yeah, but anyway, I think we've talked enough about Scooby-Doo Guess Who.
I think people, if you're a Scooby-Doo fan, you'll enjoy it, and you'll give it a shot. And that's all they can really say. If you're not a Scooby-Doo fan, you're not going to care.
Yeah, and even for Scooby-Doo fans, it's a very sort of uneven sort of series. There are definitely some good episodes in here, but there are also definitely some boring episodes as well, and some annoying ones. So just if you feel the episode's working for you, definitely stick with it, and if it's not, just skip it till next time. Because I think this is one of those sort of shows that basically will bring in a lot of the newer fan base into it, because as they're bringing in more and more of these special guest stars and such. I would like it if they went with new age sort of ones, like as we say, the influencers and all that. But we'll see where the Bill Nyes, the Whoopi Goldbergs and such do for us.
Gordon
as the
Ramsay
season goes on. Yeah, Gordon Ramsay would be good because we didn't get him in the cooking movie, so why not here?
Give us an apology.
Just an episode is just oh, we're sorry. We thought Bobby Flay would be good.
And the woman he committed adultery with. What?
It's weird that we put them both together because they're famous for that, I guess.
I mean, that's what I know them more for than just the cooking.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to log off on this one. We appreciate everybody for stopping by and joining in. We hope you all have a safe and wonderful weekend. Stay tuned for the rest of the month as Scooby-Tober. Hashtag Scooby-Tober. Make it trend, folks. As we're going to celebrate for all of Scooby-Doo, 50th anniversary for the franchise. Not only that, Witch's Ghost actually just celebrated its 20th just the other day. Warner Brothers, of course, didn't care, so there was no mention.
Yeah, it's good for them. Yeah, especially a 27-second ad for the 50th anniversary. Yay!
You mean?
Yeah, but yeah,
wasn't that ad just to sell a box set?
Yeah, you wouldn't think that, but it's just when you first see the ad just on its own, it's just oh, they're doing a cute little 27-second little video to celebrate it. Oh, that's cute. Then you'll just look below the post, and be oh, it's for a series box set instead. Oops. Disingenuous.
Have a good night, everybody.
But like we were going to say, there's going to be Scooby-Doo videos out every single weekend for the rest of the month. So just stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Oh, remember, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, follow us on social media, share us on social media, help us get that exposure, man. A little exposure goes a long way.
Yeah, just do to us what WB doesn't do for Scooby.
Exactly.
So be sure to tune in
to ToonGrin.
Dude, ciao for now. Yeah.
They should put Dexter on an episode from Dexter's Lab.
That's how you're saying Dexter.
Oh no, the serial killer? No, that'd be a really hard sell because you could never actually show him murdering anybody.
He would just be innocently in the background, be oh, it must have been that guy who was the killer.
Oh no, this guy's dead. No, I just fell on my box of raspberry donuts. Oh.
Oh no, the suspect's dead. Oh no, what happened to him? It wasn't me.